like it just depends on your niche and like what exactly your audience is going to find helpful, which is one of the things that I always recommend and what I do when I'm making my graphics too is like what is going to appeal to them and what's going to make them stop that scroll and actually like pay attention to what you're saying, and giving them something that they find valuable is really helpful. And also it ups the chance that they're going to be like, oh, this is really good advice. I have a friend who's having this trouble with their dog. Let me share this with them.
Welcome to the Wear, Wag, Repeat podcast. I'm Tori Mystic. As a dog mom lifestyle expert, blogger, and business owner, I love talking to other women in the pet industry and sharing their advice with you every week. Sit, stay, and listen to the latest episode. In this episode, I'm talking to Jessica Bay, who says she's found her calling with her current business, Templates for Pet Pros. After years of experience in a variety of different aspects of the pet industry, she's using her knowledge of what pet business owners need to help them with their online marketing. We got to talk about how great Canva is and how Jessica's unique templates are geared towards dog daycares, dog walkers, pet product makers, and more. Jessica also gave some insight into how text graphics can make your Instagram content more engaging. Stay tuned to the end of this episode to learn how you can get a special bonus that Jessica created just for Wear, Wag, Repeat podcast listeners. Hint, it involves free templates that aren't shared with anyone else. Jessica Bay is a pet industry veteran with over 20 years of experience. She has managed a dog daycare, taught obedience classes, trained service dogs, and worked in retail, both in pet boutiques and online. On top of that, she founded a collar and leash company, does influencer work with her beagles, Splash and Cricket, and she's also a pet photographer. For the past 15 years, Jessica has owned and operated an off-leash dog hiking company. When the pandemic hit, she launched Templates for Pet Pros, a Canva template membership that provides dog brands with social media graphics they can use to boost engagement and sales on social media without having to constantly come up with new post ideas and create graphics on their own. Hey, Jessica.
Hi, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you on and hear all about your new business, but you have so much awesome experience in like every facet of the pet industry. Do you have a favorite job out of all those things you've done?
My favorite definitely is Templates for Pet Pros, which is I'm doing right now, my Canva templates. And I have to say my second favorite is off-leash dog hikes, which is super fun.
Yeah. How did you think to start an off-leash dog hiking company that I'm obviously not a dog walker, but that makes me like so nervous that I would lose someone's dog. So how did you think to start doing that?
Well, I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, so it's like a big thing here. I know in lots of places, like people haven't really heard of it, but it is really big here. It wasn't so much when I first started, but I had a lot of experience with dogs before I started doing that. I had worked training service dogs and things like that. So I did a lot of work with them, taught obedience classes. So, and I don't just like take the dogs out and let them roam free. I get to know them first and keep them on a long line and like slowly train them so that they're comfortable going off leash. And I don't let every dog go off leash either. It depends on how they react to the initial training and like, how are they with distractions? Because I want to make sure that they're going to come. But when I have well-trained dogs that come when I call them, it's just the most fun to be out there like on a beautiful day. It's super fun.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I'm sure there's so many awesome places to hike and beaches too, and all kinds of stuff around you.
Yeah, there are. We're really lucky about that here.
So you were doing that for like 15 years. And in that time period, you also started something called School for Dog Walkers. So tell us a little bit about that, because I was of course stalking your website before this interview, and you have so many really awesome blog posts that are still up there about how to, start a dog walking business. But what was School for Dog Walkers?
Yeah, I started that, I think in 2018, but I just started it for educational purposes, not intending to like make any money from it. But after about a year, I started offering like a membership program through that. But I realized that I wasn't like showing up for that business the way that I needed to. So like I'm a really introverted. I don't like getting on to lives on Instagram or Facebook. I don't like making videos, things like that. I would do it, but I just hated it and I dreaded it. And I was like, why am I not doing this? Like, I know that I need to do it. I know that's going to help my business grow, but I just couldn't push myself to do it. And when I had to shut my dog hiking business down during the pandemic, I just was like, I think I'm not doing it because I'm just not feeling the passionate for this anymore. I don't have that passion for it that I used to have. And like, I loved helping the other dog walkers, but it was just a lot of tedious work. like, like you said, all the blog posts, like I was doing blog posts every week and emails and all the things that you need to do to have like a successful membership like that. I just didn't want to do the stuff that I didn't want to do.
Right.
But like for templates for pet pros, like I do reels all the time for Instagram and I don't mind doing them at all. Like I don't have a problem because it's just the subject matter, I guess. So
Yeah. Well, I was like so surprised when you said how introverted you are and you hate doing reels because I feel like every time I go on Instagram, there's Jessica talking
yeah.
about a new Canva tip because you're creating reels all the time now.
Yeah. I try to do them at least twice a week.
Yeah.
And like I'll batch like 4 of them at a time. Any more than that, I get burned out. I know some people batch like their whole month of reels. I will do my posts as a batch, but not the reels. It just wears me out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I find I've been trying to batch out reels too. And I think like 3 or 4 is about as many as I can do because I like forget, sometimes you're like pointing at things in the air. And then when I go to edit them, I forget exactly what I was supposed to be pointing at. So
Yeah, and it's
I
the
can only do
editing.
so many.
And the editing takes forever. Like it's like a 15 or 30 seconds, but like it can take like an hour to make it. So
Yeah. But that's so interesting that like now just templates for pet pros, you've kind of found like your sweet spot where you're helping people, you're doing something that you're passionate about and you enjoy and is fun. Um, and it's like, creating reels for that. Like how different is it than creating reels, for school for dog walkers? But it's just like that slight little shift. It's so much easier. So I just thought that was so interesting. We chatted a little bit before I hit record and I wanted to make sure that everyone listening heard that because sometimes I feel like we can get so stuck and it might just be like a little shift that makes the difference.
yeah, definitely. And that's what I found to be true for me. And like it took that downtime of like actually sitting and thinking, like, why am I not showing up in this business? Like I know that I need to. And then like I kind of just realized, oh, I just don't have that passion for it.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I think dog walking is probably such a hard business too because like you have to be and just so many pet service industry jobs are hard because you're passionate about serving the dogs and serving the people, but then like running an entire business on top of that is really hard because it's like a whole other skill set.
yeah, like I like that side, and so I was teaching about that. But this is just a whole new thing for me because I get this creative outlet. I wanted to be a graphic designer when I was younger and I was in college. It was frowned upon like by my family to like go into anything artistic because it kind of has a stigma that that's not a real job, which it totally is. So this has opened up. Like I haven't had any professional graphic design experience or training. I do have help from my sister, who's a graphic designer, with my graphics. And that's how they look so extra pretty. But Canva has opened that up for me. It's wonderful, and for business owners to be able to make their own graphics with no experience.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Canva. So I think it's so neat that you focused on this. So if someone signs up, so Templates for Pet Pros is a membership. And if someone signs up for it, you create graphics in Canva and then they get exclusive access to those and they can kind of edit them as they want or not edit them, I guess. They can kind of do whatever they want. But tell us a little bit about Canva and just, why it's so great. I love it. But yeah, just tell us more in case people aren't familiar with how great Canva is.
Yeah, so Canva is a drag and drop editing software. And like I said, you don't need any design experience to use it. You literally just go on there and you click to change colors and to change fonts. And there are lots of free templates on there. But what I was finding was the templates for like the pet industry, there's very few of them. And everybody uses Canva, right? These days. And if you're not, you should, because it's amazing. It's such a great tool. Like you can use it to make anything from Instagram graphic posts, ads, flyers, business cards, like printed materials. You can even make t-shirts on there. Like it's amazing all the things that you
Yeah.
can do.
Well,
You can make
I
videos.
have that print on demand, start your own print on demand online course. And last year I did a challenge, a 5-day challenge. And part of it was using Canva to design t-shirt graphics that you could then use for your print on demand shop. So it's really versatile.
Yeah, so it's amazing. And the pro version is so worth it. Like I recommend that everybody pay for the pro because that you unlock like extra features, like all these extra fonts, all these extra photos that you would have to pay like a monthly subscription for, like through Adobe stock. It's like $30 a month, but you get them with Canva for your, I think it's about $13 a month or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. It's 12 or
Yeah.
$13 a month. I have it too. And I can't believe how many photos you get access to. And they're different. I was using Unsplash for years, and then you'd have to download it and then upload it to Canva.
Right.
And Canva's photo catalog has grown so much that I hardly ever go to Unsplash anymore.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, so what my members get are templates that are specifically geared towards their target market, which is pet parents, of course, especially dog parents is my target that we work with, because they're just more specific towards that niche. Because you can customize any Canva template, but it, if you've used it before, it can take forever. Um, so I make them all from scratch. And because I have so much experience in the pet industry, I'll do a lot of infographic style ones, which tend to be really popular. They help boost engagement because people will save them, people will share them. So all you need to do is like you get access to it every month, and then you can go in there and change the colors, change the fonts to match your brand. You get 10 new ones every single month. So you always have something to go with. And then I already have a library because I've been doing this for a while now. There's a library of over 100 templates in there. You can go in there and choose from.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and I'm going to be launching a new template shop where you can buy templates like Instagram highlights, and I'll have a quote pack that'll probably be available by the time this podcast is on air. So
Yeah, that's such a good idea. So, okay, I feel like it's so hard to keep up with the trends on social media, and what performs well is constantly changing. But you were just saying, your engagement can be boosted if people are sharing and saving. So, some of these like quotes and infographics and the like. Some kind of like a visual quiz kind of things like this or that kind of graphics. Do you find that those are performing really well these days?
yeah, and I spend a lot of time on social media, and I will look at posts that make me stop scrolling and be like, okay, why did I stop scrolling? And I actually have a saved file in my Instagram that's like, okay, these are posts that made me stop scrolling. And so I'll go when I'm creating my graphics and be like, okay, what about this made me stop? Like, was it the graphic? Was it, a GIF, something with motion? Was it animated? What was it? Or what do I share with friends? I just pay attention. Cause like, if you see something, you're like, oh, that's so, my friend, you're going to share it with them. And that helps people's accounts grow. Right. So yeah, sharing, saving, all that good stuff. It just depends on like what your goal is. Like, is your goal to get new followers? Is your goal to get engagement from your current followers? So my templates do like a mixture. Like we just did in the last month's pack, there was a spoiled dog quiz. So that one's obviously meant to get your current followers to engage, but you can also put a smart caption with that says, tag a friend who has a spoiled dog or share this with a friend. So getting a good caption in there can help boost the reach too.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that because I, like finding what posts make you stop. Because I do this with email because I'm obsessed with email marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So I have like a swipe file of all the emails that I think are really good and, look at them periodically and say, what about this? Why did I think this was good? And how can I kind of adjust it and use it in my brand? So that's such a good example. And looking at my Explore tab on Instagram, I think that's another good place. If you haven't already been saving stuff, your Explore tab has been mentally saving things for you. So you can kind of look there. And I noticed my Explore tab was full of typography and like hand lettering and that kind of stuff. And I'm not an artist in that way. I can't really do that myself, but I've been posting more kind of text graphic things on my Wear Wag Repeat account, and they do well. So
Yeah.
it really works.
Yeah. And one thing I've noticed is people are much more likely to read text in a graphic that's in the image on Instagram specifically than the caption. Like if you have a big long caption, most people aren't going to read it. Some people will. But if
Mm-hmm.
you have a carousel instead that has a little bit of text on each one, they're much more likely to scroll through and read it.
Yeah. And it's kind of makes it like a little game to swipe through and like see everything. So it makes it fun too.
Yeah, totally. And you get another shot if they ignore it the first time, it'll show up in their feed. Another time, be like, hey, did you see this post? So,
I know it'll show it to you with like the second or third slide in
yeah.
front. Yeah. It's interesting how they do that. So one other thing that I've noticed that you're great at is keeping track of all the pet holidays. You're, in Wear Wag Repeat Society, and I'm sure in other Facebook groups, you share the pet holidays every month, which is so helpful to everyone. But how do you recommend that people kind of use those holidays in a way that's on brand for them and their business? I know like when I see something that's like National Squirrel Day, I'm like, well, yeah, my dogs are squirrel crazy, but like, how can I really, is it worth it to post about Squirrel Day? Like, what do you recommend people do?
Yeah. So for those types of holidays, I do create graphics for those, for some of them, not all of them. Some months have way too many. I mean, you'd be doing it every day.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So, I mean, but instead of just posting the graphic that's like happy, squirrel day or whatever, like say you're a dog trainer, you could come at it from, okay, like what's a problem that my client has that could correlate with this? Well, maybe their dog is barking and going nuts at squirrels out the window, or maybe on walks, they're jerking on the leash. So instead of just posting the graphic, you can talk to your audience and be like, here's, it's National Squirrel Day. Here's 3 things that you can do to prevent your dog from barking at squirrels outside your window.
Mm.
So just of thinking things like that. Like it just depends on your niche and like what exactly your audience is going to find helpful, which is one of the things that I always recommend. And what I do when I'm making my graphics too is like, what is going to appeal to them and what's going to make them stop that scroll and actually like pay attention to what you're saying. And giving them something that they find valuable is really helpful. And also it ups the chance that they're going to be like, oh, this is really good advice. I have a friend who's having this trouble with their dog. Let me share this with them. So
yeah. And get people tagging them or sending it in a DM or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, and then like for Facebook, I'm more of an Instagram expert. I spend a lot of time on there. But as for Facebook, like we just like holidays, like breed holidays, things like that, like Golden Retriever Day. Like you can say, Happy Golden Retriever Day. Show me your Golden Retrievers. People love sharing pictures of their dogs. So things like that, just to get people to interact, are a lot better than just the post by itself.
I am with you. I'm like not a Facebook fan, but I do find myself on there more than I probably would like. But since people can comment with a photo on there, which is so different than Instagram, that is a really great way to get people engaged for sure.
Yeah. I mean, on Instagram, you can do things like asking them to leave an emoji or something like that.
Yeah. Or in your stories, like a quiz or poll or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you've done so many different things over 20 years or so in the pet industry. I can relate because I love to bounce around and I am like a squirrel in that sense. Like I get like different ideas and want to jump around and I'm easily distracted. But do you have kind of like a dream or a goal for templates for pet pros? Do you have like 3 to 5 year dream of what it could be like?
Yeah, like you said, I jump around from thing to thing because I was like, I can't find the right. Like I have done a lot of things that I like, but I just couldn't find like the one. And like templates for pet pros, I'm like, oh my gosh, I finally found the thing. I was like, I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner. But yeah, like my plan is to grow it so that this is my full-time job. Right now it's part-time and I still am hiking dogs. I have a really small number of clients. And I have a big wait list because I'm not taking new clients. So I still do that. I just do one little group a day. I love my dogs. So I'm going to be sad when I have to stop doing it. But my goal is eventually is to take this full time and have a big group of members and just keep making it bigger and better for all the people to make their lives easier, to save them so much time. Because I know I've done all these different businesses. So I've had to do all the Instagram stuff too, like growing my business and making graphics. And it's a full-time job in itself, like making your graphics and like figuring out what you're going to post. So like if I had a membership that was affordable, like mine is, that I get 10 new graphics every single month and all I have to do is like change the colors to match my brand, and I would have 10 new ideas too for stuff to post. I would have totally been like, oh my God, I'm signing up for that. So so yeah, just being able to help business owners in that way, it makes me really happy.
Yeah. Well, and I think like it's so like so interesting our industry because like you have so much room to grow. Like, like you said, you can kind of work with like pet walkers and sitters and trainers and that kind of stuff. But then there's like a whole other section of people like the groomers. And then there's the people who are like more B2B. There's just like so many different areas. And it's just really cool. There's a lot of possibilities. Possibilities.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of the things I have thought about when making my graphics. So like I have members who own doggy daycares, who are dog walkers, and pet sitters who own pet boutiques, who are like makers who hand make products and sell them. So they appeal to like a wide variety of dog brands too. So.
Right. Well, and everyone who's listening, if you're not familiar, your Instagram is at Templates for Pet Pros, right?
Yes. Yes.
And you post a ton of Canva tips. So whether you're a member or not, you can learn so much from Jessica. Like like Canva just adds so many features that you would never know about unless someone told you. Like removing the background so you can have just like a pretty floating object on a picture, or making quick mock-ups is like a new feature that you've shared.
Yeah, and you can now add like drop shadows with one click. It's the best ever. It's like my new favorite thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's so cool. And also Canva, just fun fact, is a woman founded company. There's a really cool how I built this episode, I think, with the creator of Canva. So that's kind of fun too. Okay, before we end here, we have to hear about your dogs because they're obviously the inspiration for everything in the world. So tell us about Splash and Cricket and how they came into your life.
Yeah, so they're both beagles. They're a little crazy, but I love them. Splash is sitting next to me right now. She's the older, mellow one. She's going to be turning 12 in July. But I actually both got them as puppies I was really careful about the breeders I got them from because of all the health testing and stuff. But I showed them when they were younger. So they were show dogs.
Oh, that wasn't even in your bio. I didn't know you were into show dogs.
There's two. I did that for like a minute. Like Splash, Splash didn't get she needed like 2 points to get her championship. Which if you're a show person, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you quit when she just needed 2 points and she had gotten both of her majors. But I was just like, I'm not having fun doing this. So we're gonna do nose work instead. So I do nose work with both of them. Splash has a nose work 3 title, so she's really good at it. Cricket gets into mischief. There's a crazy reel on my Instagram of what she did to my kitchen. She has discovered how to jump on the kitchen counter.
I was gonna say, I've seen her on your counter.
Yeah, so she's naughty, but they're my babies. I love them. And they have their own Instagram account too. It's at Little Hound Dog.
Little Hound Dog. And so you do like really great posts on there too, because you also have a lot of experience as a pet photographer. So you have such great photos on there of them. So I was enjoying their account last night too.
Oh yeah. Lately I've gotten lazier and I'm putting iPhone photos on there too. Cause I used to do all the edited ones, but I was like, that's too much work. People like the other ones just as well. So.
Well, and I think it's like with the dogs, it's just like whatever captures their personality. And sometimes if you like get your camera out and go someplace special, like you're not going to capture that like weird thing they did randomly.
Yeah, totally. Cause it has to be more staged. Well, with beagles, it does. It's hard to get them to focus. So
yeah, beagles, they have a lot going on.
They can't go off their leashes. So
Yeah, I know. People, I was doing photos with Bert and Lucy back in like December, and it was with a photographer. Every couple of months, I work with a photographer for pictures, and this was someone I'd never worked with before. And we went to a location I had never been to before, and I didn't realize that people use this location as like a picnic spot. So
Oh,
it was really challenging because they were just dragging me everywhere looking for crumbs. And this photographer was like, "Wow, like." They really drag you around a lot. I'm like, no, my dogs can heel. They can loose leash walk. Just don't judge us based on the crumbs.
they're labs. What do you expect?
So I like really resented him saying that. And ever since that, I'm like, you guys have to walk really nicely. I've been working on Leave It like obsessively.
What I do is I let them check out the area like for a good while, and then we'll take the pictures there after they've checked it out. So
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I would never go to someplace we'd never been before. That's a problem with Instagram. Instagram lies. I was looking at this location on Instagram and I'm like, oh, it's so pretty. We're going to take such great photos. But I didn't notice that there was like French fry crumbs all over the place. So well, Jessica, sorry, I got really off topic at the end there, but tell everyone where they can learn more about templates for Pet Pros. And also, I think you have a special bonus for Wear, Wag, Repeat podcast listeners. So tell us about that.
Yeah, I do. So Instagram is the best place. And it's, like you said, it's at Templates for Pet Pros. That's where I post lots of free educational content and lots of reels. And my website is templetsforpetpros.com. So if you want to find out more about the templates or to join, you can go there. But I've got some freebies for your listeners. So if they want to try out some of my templates for free, they can go to templetsforpetpros.com/WWR for Wear, Wag, Repeat.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I personally am going to go download those and can't wait to use them. So everyone keep your eyes peeled and go grab them for yourself. And Jessica, thank you so much for sharing what you do and your story and sharing your time with us today.
Oh yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It was a lot of fun.
What did you like most about this episode? Find me on Instagram at TMystic and let me know what intrigued you or what questions you have about starting or growing your own dog-inspired business. You can also screenshot this episode and tag me in your stories. I love to see who is listening out there. Some of the best conversations happen after the episode, right? So track me down over on Instagram or join the Wear, Wag, Repeat Labs Facebook group to connect with other dog-obsessed entrepreneurs. And as always, you can find all the links and resources discussed in this episode at wearwagrepeat.com/podcast. See you back here next week.